The rise of the Apex gang was one of the most disturbing crime trends in Victoria in 2016. At times, angry teenagers seemed to hold entire suburbs to ransom, as increasing crime rates and a worryingly high road toll put unprecedented pressure on police.
For most of us, it came from nowhere. The Moomba Festival is supposed to be a relaxed family celebration of Melbourne. Instead, it became a riot and introduced the Apex gang. The gang's made up of young people, many of them from recent migrant communities, and were responsible for a string of crimes. Home invasions, carjackings, assaults and car chases after police relaxed the no pursuit policy. One dramatic chase in November culminated in dramatic scenes on the Westgate Bridge, the young driver arrested in the middle of peak hour traffic. But increasing arrests brought another problem, repeated riots at the Parkville Youth Detention Centre, finally forcing the government to move out the worst offenders and rebuild. The other issue which haunted police and the government was the road toll. From the first few days of 2016, the carnage was awful.
Every 36 hours, we lose someone on our roads. Every one of these deaths were avoidable.
Bad driving wasn't confined to teenagers. In February, a bus smashed into the notorious Montague Street Bridge, injuring more than a dozen passengers and the driver. He's now facing charges. Regular shootings became a significant issue in 2016, especially in Melbourne's northern suburbs, as drive-bys and shots at cars were seen again and again, sometimes with fatal consequences. The year also featured ongoing tensions between anti-immigration protesters and extreme left groups. Only a huge police presence stopped them inflicting serious injuries on each other. But sometimes big numbers of police aren't enough. The disappearance of much-loved mother Karen Rostevsky from her sprawling home in Avondale Heights prompted a huge police investigation and searches of the nearby Maribyrnong River and around Toolanvale. But despite rumours, speculation and intense detective work, no trace of her has ever been found. Her daughter Sarah is bereft.
Just want my mum to come home.
In April, a huge search was also conducted for tiny Sanaya Sahib, whose mother told police she'd been snatched from her pram by a barefoot man. The toddler's body was found the next day in Darebin Creek. Her mother was then arrested for murder. The search for the Trump family was more complicated and bizarre. After a family holiday imploded, all 5 family members scattered in different directions, sparking searches and public appeals for help. Several required psychiatric treatment, but all were found safe. At times, the strain on police resources was overwhelming. Finally, just weeks ago, after fears the state's rising crime rate was out of control, the state government announced the biggest increase in police numbers in the state's history. Police hope that will give them the edge over the criminals going into 2017. Laurel Irving, 7 News.